Hello, everyone, and welcome back once again to a very twisted episode of Twisted Kid. I am Jason Emmett,
And I'm Twisted Kid Matt.
and we've given you a couple of these fun little episodes. Please go back and check them out if you have not already done so. We had a lot of fun doing them. We present these each week, and we give each other a list, and we decide which one we're going to talk about. And this week, we decided we're going to talk about the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Bullets Over Bel-Air.
Yeah.
The episode where Will gets shot. This is season 5, episode 15. This came out in 1995. So I've been out of high school like a year, dude, when this episode came out, and I was probably
I
watching.
hadn't gone in yet.
I was watching a lot. Shut up, Matt. I was watching a lot of Fresh Prince back then. So we keep doing these shows, and we keep going back and watching like these sitcoms and stuff where they have these special episodes, and I think we kicked it out of the gate with Jesse's song, and I think I was kind of nervous because I was like, man, this show is not hold up. It is not good. Watching Saved by the Bell is not good.
Yeah.
And so what I found though is like Different Strokes, 1983. We did that. Bicycle Man. I was like, this is actually. I mean, it's dated, but it's a good show. I felt the same thing about Fresh Prince. Like it feels like it still holds up to me. Like the comedy and shit is still good to me. I think. I still enjoyed it. So this episode, let's get into what it's about. So it starts off with a camping trip. So I'd kind of forgotten all about this episode.
Yeah.
Like
Same here. Yeah.
I didn't really remember it much. I have a lot of Fresh Prince episodes that are like pretty solid in my head. This was not one of them.
Yeah.
Will Smith himself doesn't like this episode. He said he feels like this is when the show jumps the shark. I get what he's saying.
Yeah.
But
A little bit.
but I enjoyed it. So we talked about this because I asked you if after this episode, if you felt it necessary to continue watching, and you said you didn't, but I did. I watched like the next 2 episodes after this one because while the storyline kind of continues, it sort of doesn't, and so I don't feel like it jumped the shark because the storyline keeps going. But let's talk about this storyline.
Yeah.
So they're getting ready for a camping trip with Uncle Phil, right? I love. So I have to ask you, who's your favorite character on this show?
Oh, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey, right?
Jeffrey all the time. Yeah.
Jeffrey's
Jeffrey.
like the best, and his cracks on Uncle Phil
Just
are
a
like
smart ass.
they're like the best
The
stuff.
limousine will be here to pick you up at dawn, sir.
Right after he says we're gonna be roughing it all the way, and he's like the limousine. Oh my god, it's so good. He's always been my favorite character on the show. And so he's cracking me up in this once again. But they're getting ready to go on this camping trip. And it's typical Fresh Prince stuff. What's in this box? Oh, it's an inflatable raft. Don't pull the, which is what sets the whole thing off. Will pulls the cable and the raft expands and it throws Will through the room. And he breaks Carlton's lantern, right? So Carlton and Will go to an ATM machine because Will's going to pull money out to pay Will back. And when they're there, they get held up. And you were talking about it. You were like, Carlton's an idiot.
Yeah. You never reach into your pocket like he does here because that's what happens. You get shot.
You get shot.
You get shot.
But he didn't get shot. Will get shot saving him, right?
Yeah.
So I told you, though, I was like, man, he's a kid from Bel-Air, man. He probably never.
Yeah. He doesn't know.
Yeah. The kid from Philly knew. The kid from Bel-Air has no idea what's about to happen, right?
Yeah, because he was West Philadelphia born and raised, and the playground is where he spent most of his days.
Correct.
However, Carlton did not.
No.
Carlton was sheltered, we'll say.
Yes.
And doesn't know the finer points of being held up at gunpoint like Will probably does.
Like us, who we're from the streets, we know what it's like to be held up at gunpoint.
Yes.
Stewie, so a guy from our other show, Twisted Kid, or I'm sorry, the mixtape, Stewie D, he actually he had a gun stuck in his face at an ATM. So, but the guy was stupid and held him up before he pulled any money out. So dumb. It's true story. So only he got whatever was in Stu's wallet, which
that's like robbery 101.
Yeah.
Give me everything you got.
Stu's like, I mean,
okay, it's like $10. I was about to get out like 500 more.
He just took his wallet, and Stu's like, I hadn't even pulled any money out yet. But it was terrifying because, somebody sticks a gun right in your face. So he's like, we've talked about it a lot, but there were 2 guys, actually. They caught one of them, but they never caught the second guy. So I don't know. But yeah, so Carlton goes for more money, and the guy pulls the trigger, and Will saves him. So we go instantly, like, we don't know. It kind of cuts there, and then next thing you know, we're in the hospital. Obviously, they're not going to kill Will. So we're in the hospital now, and we know that Will's been shot and that he's doing okay. If it would have been an inch off, right, he'd have been in trouble.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. So, like, his whole family's there. They go in to see him and everything. Except for Carlton. At first, Carlton is not there. Everybody else is there, but not Carlton. And they go into the room. This is where we get Hillary being Hillary, which is the great line about, which is funny because I wanted to tell her, like, that's saline solution, Hillary.
Yeah.
But she said, this is just the regular water. I got to get you Evian.
Yeah. This part right here. She's talking about getting him Evian.
Getting him some Evian instead of the regular water.
Got to stay hydrated. So.
But Will's being Will this whole time. Like, he's cutting jokes. And you can tell, I feel like he did a really good job. Like, I really am pretty impressed in early Will Smith acting. Like, he's goofy on this show, but when he needs to, like, he's cracking Will jokes, but you can tell, like, he's acting tense when he does it, right? So, like, all right, so when Carlton finally kind of comes in, he's being very weird, which I guess I get. I mean, he's been shot at, but, like, you don't know quite why he's being this weird yet. Like, is this like I feel bad because Will got shot in my place thing, or is this like he's in shock? Like, you don't really know yet what's going on, but he kind of walks out of the room, and Uncle Phil, who I guess would just be dad to him, not Uncle, not Uncle Phil.
He's not Dad Phil.
Dad Phil. I will tell you, it throws me off a little bit that he's got Aunt Vivian, and then his mom's name is Vi, and I'm like, those seem very similar. And they're sisters, so it seems weird. Anyway, so Phil follows Carlton. That's hard to say. Phil follows Carlton out of the room, and they have this big discussion. And Carlton kind of lets Phil know, like, hey, yo, everything you've ever taught me is a lie. Justice doesn't happen, which we talked a lot on the Jesse Song episode about how abrupt, like how, and on the Boy Meets World episode, that it felt very, like, short. Like, all this stuff happened quickly.
It's all kind of rushed.
Everything is in this, but for some reason I feel like they did a better job.
Yeah.
And I guess because it is rushed what happens in this, but, like, they laid down in a couple of minutes at the beginning, we were given a scenario as what was going on and why we were even going to be here.
Yeah.
And it was done in 2 or 3 minutes. You know, I don't feel like it took up too much of the episode. Yeah. And then this is the only scene where I felt a little like Carlton turned this way pretty fast, if that makes sense.
Yeah, he kind of has a 180-degree turn.
But I'm thinking, like, he's a little in shock, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think most people would be. You know, not only did you just get shot at, but your cousin
just got
the bullet for you,
right,
and may die.
You know, maybe this is legit. We don't know. I think we're in the hospital at this point. I mean, obviously if there was a bullet in Will, which there must have been, they've already removed it. He's in recovery. So it's been hours, right?
Yeah.
So Carlton's feeling whatever Carlton's feeling. Like, it's freaking him out, right? Like you said, not only did he almost get shot, but somebody got shot in his place. The problem is he's not feeling he feels a little guilt, but that's not what's going on in Carlton's mind here. He's pissed.
Yeah.
He's pissed that this even happened, that somebody could kind of come into your neck of the woods and just take everything away, take all sense of security.
Yeah.
I get that too.
His world got flipped. It was turned upside down, and that was unintentional.
Well, man,
but a great pun, and it does make sense.
I would like for you to take a minute and just sit right there while I just explain
I mean,
this to you.
I will, but I mean, like, to be honest, like, he is now in Will's place when Will first moved to Bel-Air.
Yes.
Like, it's a totally different world than where he came from.
Which is why...
did you catch the other show reference there? Different world?
No. I did not. What I did like that they did... So you bring that up. When they get to Will later, like, Will's cracking jokes and trying to make light of it, and you're thinking, like, what you kind of forget is it's been years for him now. He's been in this Bel-Air home, too. when Carlton does like confront him about it, he's like, "You think I'm not mad? You think I'm not pissed off about this too?" He's like, "I'm just trying not to let it like rule me because I dealt with this shit. Like this is,
Yeah.
you know." So it does definitely it affects him too. But in Carlton's world, shit like this never has never happened, right? He's never
Yeah.
dealt with anything like this in his life. So I guess it probably messed with you pretty bad.
Yeah.
Have you ever been robbed, like in any way, shape, or form?
Mm, confronted to the point where I thought I was going to get robbed, but I managed to talk my way out of it
Well,
actually.
not
So,
even that. So like
yeah.
my mine, there was years ago. Me and my buddy, we lived in a condo together, and there was a string of people were going around breaking into people's cars, and I remember mine got hit first, and just coming out and seeing my window busted out and seeing everything taken out of my car, like it, you feel violated just at that, like
Yeah.
just, and you're pissed, man. I was pissed, and they took my CDs, you know, it was
Yeah.
whatever, but I was freaking furious about it. So again, dude shows up, sticks a gun in your face, then shoots somebody. How pissed might you be? Once all the freaked outness settles down, I imagine you might be pretty pissed off. So,
Yeah.
and knowing
Understandably.
and knowing too that you'll probably never get any justice out of this,
Yeah.
which I don't,
Which, his dad is a judge,
is a judge.
which
Yeah.
is what he points out. He's like, "You've taught me right from wrong, and that the legal system is fair,
Yes.
and that this type of thing will be punished." And he's hearing from pretty much everybody in the hospital, they didn't catch the guy. They're probably not going to catch the
They probably
guy.
won't. Yeah.
You're just lucky to be alive. And it's like, yeah, like I'd be pissed too. Like, wait a minute, I saw the guy. I know what he looks like. Why is nobody going after him? It's like, look, you're lucky to get away with your life.
Yeah. Well, and Phil
So
tells him, you know, the
we'll just
system
move on.
isn't perfect, and it
Yeah.
just pisses Carlton off.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to hear that shit. So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, Carlton kind of disappears. Phil kind of covers for him a little bit, right? And we
Yeah.
know that at some point Will's going to get to go home, and this is when Carlton kind of confronts. He comes to Will in the hospital and tells him, you know, I owe you my life, dude. You name it, I'll do it. But then he proceeds to get pissed again.
Yeah.
And he gets mad at Will for cracking jokes and shit, and he's kind of furious about the whole thing. And Will tries to calm him down. This is when Will tells him, "Hey, man,
Yeah.
you think I'm not mad? I'm mad, you know." And then we get like the best acting in the world,
Yep. Right there.
the tray flip, which
Yep.
I wonder if it was scripted or if he just did it. And you were talking about I said the tray flip scene, and you were like, "Man, I like that scene because."
Yeah, it was great because it comes out of nowhere and it's like, just like lightly flips it, but it's like you kind of wonder if they were like, okay, you have to tip this, but we
Show
got
us
to
anger.
reset this and do it again.
Alfonso,
So
show us anger.
don't make it so that we can't find everything for continuity purposes because they're gonna set this up every time.
And Will.
So yeah, he just looks at him. He's like, man, I was gonna eat
I was
that.
gonna eat that. But you know he's gonna crack a joke. He has to, but
Yeah,
like the way it comes off, like actually makes you laugh in this scene.
yeah,
But again, he says it in a way, and instead of making it just pisses Carlton off more. This is when he's like, "Not everything's a joke, Will,"
yeah,
and that's when we find out Carlton's got a right. Carlton's got a he went and
yeah,
got a and Will isn't happy about this at all. He basically tells him, "Look, man, no, you know this is not who you are. This is not what you do." And he tells him, you know, hey, fine, you say you owe me. Well, I want the
yeah.
give me the and pouty pouty face Carlton gives him. He looks like a kid who got his toy taken away. He's like, all right, fine, here's your.
Which, by the way, like, if you've ever handled this is not the greatest way to handle a and you definitely don't want to just like drop it on somebody's
But
leg while they're
again,
laying.
it's
He
Carlton.
doesn't know shit about.
He doesn't know anything about
Like,
it.
he went out, he got a from somebody, which literally is just perpetuating this whole cycle of violence.
Yes.
That not to sound like ooh, but I mean that's exactly what he's doing. Like, hey, violence happened to me. I need to protect myself. I'm going to carry a gun now.
Right.
And oh, sorry, we have to stick with YouTube stuff. A pew is so stupid, but yeah, you have to like.
YouTube.
Are you aware of that?
No. So we're gonna have to like put
Yeah,
stuff
we
over all
may have to
those.
bleep this. I just realized some of
That
that.
makes it funnier.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll put in like laser
I'll
blast
start
sounds
saying
every time
El
we do it.
Pistola. So he has
El
an El
Pistola.
Pistola, and
Just say it in like different languages. Uh,
yeah, but he's like you said, he's probably. I mean, he's never. This kid's probably never handled a weapon in his life. He doesn't know
yeah,
that
yeah,
he's not. Which is more real, even more realistic. Like, has he ever shot anything ever?
probably not.
Like,
And this actually calls into question a little bit of that camping trip. Like, did they already have all this camping equipment and they just pulled it out? Or what I think happened was, hey, let's go on a camping trip. Let's buy all the equipment
well,
beforehand
everything looked pretty new to
and then
me.
go.
Yeah,
Yeah. And go on that.
like I get the impression
And
Phil has done this camping
oh
stuff
yeah,
before.
Phil
But how
probably did
often
that
has
growing up,
Carlton?
but
They probably
his
went fishing and
kids,
stuff, but
yeah.
have they ever done it like this? You don't
Where
know.
exactly in Bel-Air are they going to go camping, by the way?
Well, they're not. The limo's going to take them somewhere else.
Yeah, but okay.
Well,
This is like
there's,
a remake of Camp Beverly Hills, I think. So. Or
there's
Troop Beverly Hills, or
mountains.
whatever it's called. Yeah.
Troop Beverly Hills. There's mountains in California.
Yeah.
You can drive a few hours, I guess, a couple hours. I don't know.
I've never been to California, so
Me neither. I'd like to go, but never been there. But I do know there's mountains
do
a
that.
couple hours away, and so they could easily go up and camp and fish, and so. But yeah, he's obviously never held a weapon in his life,
Yeah.
and Will knows that. Like Will obviously, that's the thing, and then Will picks it up and knows exactly what to do with it, right?
Yeah.
And again, we're looking at two individuals where it's like Will's like, this is not who you want to be. I knew some of these people, right? I'm not one
Yeah.
either, but I knew them. I've seen them, and
Yeah.
we're not going to be these people.
Yeah.
It's
This
pretty
actually is genuinely good acting here, because like
yes,
he when he empties the bullets out of the gun, he realizes like he didn't just have the gun, he had bullets. He was ready to go,
yes.
and he doesn't know what he's
It
doing.
also begs the question: where did Carlton even get this weapon? Like, where did he get it from? Like, we don't
And
know.
you know
We
what's
know he
funny?
vanishes
If
for a
the
few
guy that
hours.
robbed him, had a mask, there's a good possibility it's the same gun from the beginning of the episode.
Well, we know it's not. We see both guns.
Yeah, that's true. Well, it's pretty dark in one of the clips, but
Yeah, that's like a 9 or something, and he's got like a revolver. But
yeah.
still, it begs the question. Like, he goes out and vanishes for a few hours, and then shows back up with a gun. Where did he get it? Like, who did he buy this
Yeah.
off of? How did he?
Whose contacts did he call?
Yeah. So we don't know, but Will's not going to let it happen. He basically implies like you're going to make things worse. You're going to get yourself killed. And that's what's going to
Yeah.
happen. And I've had this conversation with people before. Like, people are like, "Oh, you're anti." No, we keep a weapon in my house, But what I am is anti people carrying them as their like means of this makes me tougher. It's like it really
Yeah.
doesn't. And inevitably, what's going to happen is you're going to get scared and pull that when you shouldn't. And someone like Carlton, and I'm not saying everybody in the world. I'm saying I know people that I don't think should ever carry a gun on them, because they're the type of people who would pull it because they were scared. And Carlton would do that, and Will knows that. Like, this isn't protection. This is a way to mask your fear. That's why you want this. You want it to feel less afraid, and that means you're going to pull it when you get scared, and then somebody's going to die, and we don't want that. So I think it was I think it was a really well done episode. I said, Will Smith says he feels like it's when it jumped the shark, but I don't. I think it's this. Is this the second to the last season? I think it is.
That's a good question. I could look that up, but
I feel like it was.
filming.
I mean, does it seem a little ridiculous? We're going to do an episode where the main character gets shot. I guess it could.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was done poorly. I think it was done pretty well.
Who else could they have shot? Like in Will's place.
Well, I think that's just it. Who would you least expect to be the one to get shot? It's Will,
Nikki.
Right?
Not Nikki. The kid.
The little kid.
Yeah.
The kid who grew up like 6 years in one season.
Yeah.
It's always weird when shows do that. Like, we're
going to introduce a kid. Oh, the baby's not working. That's a lot of extra effort.
So let's
make it a toddler. It's cool.
I always say Friends did that.
Oh, he's a preschooler. Yeah.
Friends adds a baby and then realizes it kind of.
Well, they got rid of a monkey first.
Well, they get rid of Marcellus pretty quick, right? Marcel.
Stop it. Get some help.
Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm really hoping this is what we.
There's always something.
I'm
There's
hoping this
always
is
something
just
that
one
I'm
of
just
those
like,
bad joke
oh God.
cuts because that's the best. Marcel gets he's out like in the first season, so they realize pretty quick. Like I think that was one of those things. This is going to become a pain. But Friends has this bad habit of like, so Ross has a kid who we rarely see. It's the Sprouse twins that play his kid. We never see his kid, hardly ever, in like 9 years of that show.
Right.
You forget a lot in this show too. This show does it like bringing Aunt Vi in from time to time, or in the case of Will, his mom, helps because you do tend to forget that he's not.
In case you forgot the relation between the two of them,
Well, you kind of
there's aunts and uncles and moms and
yes, but
sons and
even Phil, I think, and it's one of the things I like about this show. Sometimes tends to forget that Will is not his nephew, or that Will is his nephew, not his son, and he calls him son a lot.
Yeah,
and I like the dynamic of that in the show. And of course, there's the
now. Real quick, does this episode happen before or after the episode where, which we'll probably talk about
where his
in the
dad
future,
comes to visit?
where his dad comes in, he's like, "Why does my dad want me anymore?"
I
Was
can't.
that
I
is that
think
before
it's
or after?
after because this is second to the last season. And I'm pretty sure that happened the season prior. But that scene is so good.
That
Like,
might be like
that episode
and
is so good.
from everything I've heard, that is just like a genuine, like there was no acting in that part. It was
Maybe
just
not. Yeah.
he put it all aside and he just is like, "This is real. This is what we're talking about now."
Yeah.
So keep the
Yeah.
cameras rolling. It's gold.
It's
So
pretty good, and it's hard
yeah,
not to like. It's hard for like not to tear up watching that episode. So
yeah.
yeah, we'll definitely have to talk about that at some point.
Yeah. Stay
I
tuned.
I
We'll
think
use nope over there. We'll use that graphic again in the future.
I think that was before, though. I'm pretty sure that was before. There's also the episode which we will talk about, where Carlton and Will get accused of stealing the car, and it's Phil's car, and they're delivering it somewhere, and they get accused of it. So
Yeah.
there'll be more Fresh Prince coming. There'll be more Boy Meets World. There'll be more of everything. We've got
Yeah.
some really
There's
cool.
a lot of twisted episodes to
Yeah.
talk about.
So, and we
A
have
lot.
fun. I really enjoy watching these, even the bad ones. But I'll tell you, like I went back and watched this, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot how much I really enjoyed Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and how much these characters
Yeah.
hold
It
up.
was one
in
of my
there.
favorite shows growing up.
It's a good show, man.
Yeah.
Like genuinely good characters, funny jokes, and stuff that just really holds up. So
Yeah.
yeah, I really enjoy it. It's sad because James Avery, who was beloved, like people love James Avery.
Yeah. Shredder.
I was gonna go there. Do you remember? And I don't remember the name of the show. After Fresh Prince ended, there was a show with him and Carlton on it. It wasn't.
No?
They didn't play the same characters, and I don't
That's
think it
bizarre.
lasted
but okay.
long. We might have to have a little
Yeah.
pause here, and I'll look it up. So yeah, so James Avery was in a show mid 2000s, somewhere in there called "The Thing We Do for Love" with Alfonso Ribeiro in it, and one of the Maori sisters too. I don't think it lasted very long.
Yeah.
But
Do we have any episodes involving sister coming
nothing
up?
on the books yet. I'm sure we'll do
What
something.
about Smart Guy?
No, nothing yet. We'll have to look. I watched Smart Guy. I didn't want to not watch Sister. So
Yeah.
I just never really. My daughter went back and tried to watch it. She's like, "That show is horrible." I'm like, yeah, that's pretty bad. I like them a lot though. So the Maori sisters. So, and I love Taj Maori. So
come on the show. We'll talk about them.
Yeah, absolutely. We'd love to.
Anybody celebrity wise who ends up watching one of these episodes, hit us up. We'll bring you on the show.
I want to say
we'll put you in that little TV box over there.
you can
I
talk
flipped
with
my
us.
camera, so now I don't know which direction to
You
point
can
anymore.
talk with us.
I did it again.
I will say
Over there.
so. Well, this is a good time I think to go into our social media stuff really quick.
Yeah.
But, so we are all over social media. You can check us out anywhere you find your social media. Obviously, the easiest way is to go to our website and click our link tree. It's over there. You can see it. You can click that as well. That'll get you everywhere. Our Instagram, our Twitter, our Facebook, our TikTok. We're all on all of it, and our website, which is themixtapepod.com. What's really cool is I posted on Twitter that we were doing the Bicycle Man episode, and Todd Bridges liked it, which I was like, sweet, we would love to get Todd Bridges on the show.
Yes,
Like, I would love to talk to him.
absolutely would
Yeah.
love to get him on the show.
Yeah, he'd be a lot of fun to talk to, and we talked a lot about that. Or anybody from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air would be great.
Anything that he wants to talk about.
So you just mentioned. So I said this. I
He
think
didn't even catch it, or you just were like, "Yep, nope, moving that
No,
on."
I didn't catch it. It was a bad joke. Matt.
Anything Todd Bridges wants to talk about.
What you want to talk
Yeah.
about, Todd Bridges, is what we will talk about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we do for Love came out in 2011. I just checked, and you were saying that previously that you thought James Avery died in 2013. So this was.
Yeah.
We didn't realize it was that long ago that he passed away. I really
Yeah.
didn't. I would have told you like maybe 4 years ago.
Some might say that, like a giant global change to the way everybody lives kind of makes time irrelevant at a certain
Sometimes,
point.
yeah.
And you kind of forget how long ago certain things were.
There's definitely a blur
So,
there.
yeah.
For it
Couple
really
years.
was only a year, but it feels like 2
or 5
or
12. I don't know. Yeah.
Which sucks because James Avery was wonderful. So
Yeah.
it's one of those guys that felt like we all had a little loss there, but
Yeah. We all lost our Uncle Phil that day.
we all really did, didn't we? At least he didn't get shot over a matter of $60 for a stupid lantern.
No shit. It was
Way
like
to go.
hardly anything. He was like,
Way
I'll
to
give you
go,
20
Will.
more bucks. They were literally arguing about how much he was going to pay
Yeah, he wanted 80
to replace it. He's like 80.
So
He's like,
he's
no,
gonna
I'll
give
give you 60. And he
right. But
Bugs Bunny Daffy Ducks him.
This is 1995. A freaking $80 lantern. Jeez,
Yeah,
Carlton.
that's 90s money, man.
Rich
No wonder
kid.
you're rich.
Rich kid.
It's like, I need my $80 hurricane lantern. First off, a hurricane lantern, probably not the type of lantern you want to be taking on a camping trip.
Also, probably
Or
not
I could
what
be
you need
totally
in
wrong.
California.
Yeah.
Not a lot
yeah,
of hurricanes in California.
It's enough light
So,
pollution out there.
really,
You probably
yeah.
don't even need a lantern at all.
Well, you gotta
So-
see through that pollution. So
Yeah. That was also the 90s, so it was less polluted then, but I don't know.
So
This is all irrelevant. We'll cut
we
it.
did. Oh, okay. All right, so we did just do our social media stuff. It'd be awesome, and we would love you guys forever if you would, go down there and hit the subscribe button.
Down there.
Yeah, and smack that bell or whatever they
Ring
say.
the
Punch that bell. Ring
Yeah.
it. That would be great. We would really appreciate it. And if you guys could share this with your friends or whatever, that'd be cool too.
That'd be really cool.
that was neat. Jinx, by the way. I'll buy me a Coke. I
Yeah.
don't drink Coke, so buy me something else. Yeah, please do. And go check out our podcast too, the Mixtape Podcast, available anywhere you find your podcasts. And this is an offshoot of that. So over there we talk a lot about music and stuff. Over here we like to talk about the weird shit we watched as kids. And this was some of the weird shit. I don't know that this was weird.
No.
I guess this is what everybody was watching, but these are those weird episodes that strike home, that everybody kind of remembers. Like, hey, remember that one episode of?
Yeah.
And Fresh Prince was definitely a show that I was pretty enamored with at this point in my life. So,
Which good job of having 2 episodes in a row with somebody in a hospital bed.
yeah, I realized
Thanks
that.
a lot.
Well, we were avoiding other topics to run right into right in a row.
Yeah, there's certain topics you got to kind of just go.
Yeah,
I
things
need
got
I need a break from that
Yeah.
for a little bit.
a little too child molesty there for a minute. We wanted to veer somewhere different and not feel icky. Which, like I said, speaks on how good that episode was because it made us feel icky.
There are still people who talk about that episode to this day. Some say the name of the character more correctly than others.
He's
perhaps.
referring to the Bicycle Man episode of Different Strokes.
Yeah.
It's
But
not
yeah,
Mr. Furley.
that one definitely made an impact on people, and
Yes.
it made genuine change happen.
Yes.
So, which that's probably the best you can hope for with an
And I
episode
will
like that.
say,
is,
a lot of these did. So this episode of Fresh Prince really could have delved. And I guess in the end, what we were supposed to feel is that Carlton was going through a little bit of PTSD, right? That's what we got.
pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
I will say if you go right into the next episode, while it does pick up where this one left off, it does not go into Carlton anymore. He's back to normal Carlton after that. So I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah.
But there are episodes of this show, Family Matters and stuff, that all kind of change. Like, they really hit on social issues in a way, and that's what's kind of cool about these. Really, it is kind of what's cool about these. I mean, when I watched Saved by the Bell, I stopped drinking caffeine. When it didn't happen.
Oh, come on. Folks at home, trust me when I say the joke we just cut out was terrible.
Again, I hope you don't cut it all. I hope you just put that bad joke thing right there and then just capture the rest of us laughing about it.
I love the fact that you reference it each time, and it's like, well, now I have to put that in there.
Oh, these are hard to do.
We have fun.
Okay. So there you go. I don't know how abrupt the cuts are going to come back in. It's not my fault. I want to be very clear that a lot of times on the Mixtape podcast, it's me saying the inappropriate things. On this show, it's usually Matt.
Yeah. And then I am also the one editing it.
So he's the one who's got to fix that stuff.
Yeah.
We do appreciate everybody coming
Yeah.
in and checking this out. Please keep coming and let us know if there's any special episodes you would like us to watch here for the show.
We will gladly take a request and bump it
yeah.
up, but we also reserve the right to say, hell no.
Hell no.
We're going to push that off for a little while because it's yet another one
We
where
probably won't, though. We'll probably just
somebody
watch
gets
it.
given some wine at an underage point in their life.
Yeah.
And it should be, we need to space those out a bit.
If at any point you're confused on what he's referencing, just go down there and watch the previous videos, because I swear, it's all down there.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you don't mind, hit subscribe and like down there, ring the bell, whatever. Get posted on all the upcoming videos we got coming out. We got lots more planned, including some feature lengths. These are the very twisted episodes, the mini episodes, but as you'll see down there, we occasionally do full-length, weird-ass movies from our childhood and youth. So we will take suggestions on all of that. We may even have guests at some point who come and talk about stuff with us. So please keep watching. We love you guys. Matt, do you want to take this thing out?
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. And until we meet again, remember to always stay awesome. And just like us, you too are a twisted kid. And cut.
Thank you so much for watching. Check us out on Facebook at Tapeworms, fans of the Mixtape Podcast. We are on Twitter, Mastodon, and Instagram. Please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Remember, just like these morons, you too are a twisted kid.